It's time to start making memories again, and it's all just a roam away. JustAroamAway.com.
It's Tonee for Newhoff Media Bloomington, and we have a special new project for you. It's JustAroamAway.com. So excited to talk to one of our coworkers at Newhoff Media Springfield, Bonzy with 99.7 The Mix. How's it going over there in Springfield?
What is up, Tonee? How's Bloomington?
You know, it's great. It's just a hop, skip, and jump from you. How far away are we?
Just a roam away, man. About an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. That's not too bad. Well, if you're driving, it's only like 45 minutes, though.
It takes me about an hour and 15. It depends on where you're coming from what point to what point.
Depends on how many outfits you have to change into on your way from here to there, right?
That does happen. You're right. So we call it Blono for Bloomington Normal. Is there a nickname for Springfield?
Spring Patch, yeah, for sure. Spring Patch is the nickname. But being, I'm from St. Louis. I'm a Springfield person now. I've been here since 2004. My kids were all born here, and so yeah. I claim Springfield as my second home, but Spring Patch is what I've always heard as was the nickname. So
okay, I got it. So since you're from St. Louis, like myself, I have to ask. You're a little bit closer to St. Louis than Blono. Cardinals or Cubs?
Well, that's obvious. When you're there, we talked about this, I think, before, Tonee, when you first became part of the Newhoff family. You are bred in St. Louis to dislike everything Illinois. And when I came here, I was the outcast for sure. So it's Cardinals, Blues. It used to be the St. Louis Rams, Missouri Tigers, St. Louis University Billikens. You go on. And yeah, I bleed blue and red.
Okay, I like to hear that. I didn't know if it changed you. You've been in Illinois for a while, which
no.
Okay, I just had to ask. So when I think of Springfield, and even when I was a kid, we would take tours to Springfield. It was like our middle school trip. It was all about Abraham Lincoln. Okay, what's the coolest Abraham Lincoln attraction there?
Well, see, unlike you, when I went to school in St. Louis, we never came to Springfield. I really knew little about Abraham Lincoln, except for he was one of our presidents and he freed the slaves. That was the big thing, and all that stuff. And then when I came to Springfield, it was like Abraham Lincoln overload. Like people, as soon as I came here, you ask about your new place, your new home, and it was Abraham Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, Lincoln. It was just everything. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. I really honestly didn't even know that Springfield was the state capital.
Come on.
I didn't.
Geography class.
I'm not an education guy, but I didn't even really know it was the capital city until I started interviewing for the job. And then when I got here, I was like, wow, this reminds me a lot of St. Louis, kind of a big, small city, and it's very, very busy. There's a lot of different people here. And Abraham Lincoln is definitely a big part. And I would have to say my favorite thing when I moved here that had to do with Lincoln wasn't here when I moved here. The Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library Museum is my favorite place now. When I moved here, it was the historical site that's downtown. I had to go there and basically learn everything about Lincoln. And that's a free thing that people can check out. I learned that there are a lot of Abraham Lincoln buffs. There are a lot there are people that, they get the Lincoln shirts, the Drinking Like Lincoln Festival, all that stuff is big. The tomb is big. Of course, the Illinois State Capitol, the old Capitol, which is amazing downtown. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I know you've seen it. The square down around that is really nice.
It's fun.
So a lot of those places are free. But the museum, the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum, that is not free. But that's something that we are giving away tickets to if you'd like to come down and check it out. And that's a really cool tour. Again, I'm not a history buff, but the tour is great. And my kids, they don't like museums, and they love that one.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, we'll be having a giveaway this week at thebeatofblono.com. So you could win the family fun kit to go visit Bonzy and these activities he's talking about. We're going to take care of you on tickets if there is an admission cost. You mentioned your kids, great dad, family guy. I know a lot of people in Blono are looking for family fun activities this summer. What's there to do in Springfield for the family?
Well, thanks for saying that. And, that's my number one job, is being a dad first.
Absolutely.
And my kids now are 14, 12, and 9. And when you talk about Springfield and you have kids, Knights Action Park is that's the pinnacle. That's the top. That's the cherry on top.
Okay.
It's a ginormous water park. And again, being from St. Louis, you and I, Tonee, we're used to big attractions. You know, we really. And when I came here, I drove by it. You can see right there on the screen. That's just a little sneak peek. That's not even. I think a quarter of the park.
Wow.
It's huge. And when I first moved here, I was like, oh my gosh, that is huge. And then the kids just love it. I mean, you can get passes for the summer. You can get, there's special hours, special days, special times for mom and dad. You can check out everything right there. We're going to give you guys some free admissions to that park. They've got some of the biggest water slides in all of Central Illinois. They've got one slide. They just put these slides in a few years ago. Okay. They've got one slide that goes up to 65 miles an hour when you drop straight down.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, so you better make sure that your swimsuit is attached very, very good on that one.
That's crazy. And you're right. You can see it right from the highway.
Yeah.
And it's not, we're seeing some pictures here. It's not just a water park. Right. There's some other activities there too, right?
Yeah, I was going to tell you that, we're also throwing in some batting cage stuff and some miniature golf passes. There's go-karts there as well. The go-karts there too. I mean, my kids are getting older now, and they love to race dad on the go-karts. And, I weigh a little bit more, so mine doesn't go as fast as it used to. But it's a lot of fun. And, that's the thing. Knights Action Park. When you come to Springfield, if you've got kids, you can literally plan a weekend around Knights Action Park. It's one of those things that you just can't go to in one day, and the kids are like, oh, we're done. They want to go back again.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a great one. We'll have to check out. I'm a big fan of the go-kart racing. So let's talk about, I'm a foodie. So I've heard about horseshoes are a huge thing in Springfield. What's in that?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, she said she heard about horseshoes, and I know that's not the truth. I know Tonee has definitely had her fair share of horseshoes.
I'm not trying to admit it.
Hey, so the debate on the horseshoes is, what type of fry do you get? What type of cheese sauce do you get? And being here since 2004, I've actually learned about the original horseshoe and how it was made. And basically all it was a piece of toast, okay, that was put on a plate. It was any type of meat. People think the traditional horseshoe is the hamburger on top of the toast and then the fries on top of that and then the cheese sauce. Well, the original horseshoe actually wasn't hamburger. It was like ground beef, and then I think it was ham. So
really?
It wasn't even really hamburger. So, but the horseshoe, it can be whatever you want. Bread, meat, tons of fries, and then tons of cheese, which I don't know how they make that cheese sauce here. It's ridiculous. And I've had friends from St. Louis come up, and I probably only had one or two of my friends actually be able to finish a horseshoe, but you've got to try it. I suggest the buffalo chicken one. I love that one.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. Okay, that's what Springfield's known for, along with corn dogs, right?
Yeah. Voss's corn dogs is one of the mainstays here. There's another corn dog place just right down the road here. During the state fair, Voss's is right there across from the grandstand here at the Illinois State Fair, which is huge here in Springfield. The state fair is always big with major acts, but fair food, corn dogs. Voss's does it, I think, probably better than anybody else. And they do the little corn dog, the giant corn dog. It's good. So Voss's, VOSE'. Check them out. Yeah, they're definitely great if you come to Springfield.
I have tried those there, and they are good. They made me a corn dog fan because I wasn't before. So
me neither. Yeah. We were being from St. Louis. You'd think that we were all about that, but not really, man. But I wasn't a big corn dog fan, but Voss's, changed my mind.
Yeah, they're delicious. Okay, so speaking of the state fair, I'm going to ask, what's the biggest event in Springfield you're looking forward to this year? Is that it?
The biggest show or biggest event in Springfield?
Just anything that people need to come for.
Well, the state fair is always big, man, and it's 7 days of live concerts, free concerts. If you go to the fair, you pay your admission and pay your parking to get into the fair. There's always beer tents all over the fair, and people think of those beer tents and they're like, oh, they're crowded now. The Miller tent, the one that we post up in at the state fair, is huge. It's ginormous. It's got a lot of room, a lot of bathrooms, a lot of bar area. People think they're going to have to wait in line like 3 hours to get a cocktail. Not at the Miller tent. They do it right, man. And we've got a lot of free shows during the state fair, which kicks off on August 14th. Now, probably the biggest concert, the paid concert, I hate to say it, because I'm a big fan of the shows that we sponsor. And the I Love the 90s show, with Vanilla Ice, Coolio, Naughty by Nature. I mean, those are huge legendary artists that are going to be at the fair.
Absolutely.
I really think that the Kane Brown show is probably going to be one of the biggest ones here. There's people down, my friends in St. Louis, like, hey man, can you get me tickets to that Kane Brown show? And I'm like, probably not, because they're going to be sold.
Yeah.
So yeah, State Fair coming up is a big deal. Of course, we've got they're talking doing it a little bit later on and maybe in September, so that might be coming up as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, I've driven from Bloomington to Springfield for the State Fair. Like you said, just a little over an hour drive. It's so worth it. Also, what's Springfield's connection with Route 66 if someone's trying to explore that little road trip?
Well, I mean, Route 66, Springfield's like smack dab in the middle of it. I mean, it's just, it goes all the way across the country, and in Route 66 or Route 66, however you want to call it. People don't know what to say. It literally comes right through the middle of Springfield, and you can see it on the map. I think I looked at a map one time. You know what a map is, Tonee? You ever seen a?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have. Here's my map right now.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about a paper map that you rolled out, like a paper map. I looked at one of those one time, and it's a big, thick red line that really goes all across the country, and it literally, Springfield, boom, right in the middle of that. And there's a hotel that has different sites there that you can see from the old, they used to do a race across the country like a long time ago. And there's some old cars in there, some pictures of that. And that's just right down from the radio station. And that's free, of course.
That's very cool. Okay. And another neat thing I think about Springfield, you can drive there. Like we said, it's very close, just a roam away. But also, we have an Amtrak station in Bloomington Normal, and there's an Amtrak station in Springfield.
Yes, my kids and I have actually taken the train up there a couple times to Bloomington, for the Children's Museum up there, and it's a really quick, safe trip, and you can come right down into downtown Springfield. The old state capitol is down there. A lot of the shops that are local shops are down there. Some local restaurants are down there. The Dana Thomas House is down there. We didn't mention that. There's architect fans, and the Dana Thomas House is absolutely one of the most mind-blowing houses that you'll ever see. And you can see it right there. Frank Lloyd Wright was the architect, and it is gorgeous. Again, I didn't think I'd be a super huge fan of that because I'm not really into that. But when I went to it the first time, it was just a normal tour and a normal walkthrough. And you can see just the lines and the buildings and the way that the shapes are in there. It's really nice. But the best time to go to the Dana Thomas House, I'm going to tell you right now, is during Christmas. Because they decorate that thing up big time. There's a video right there that you can take a tour of it all. That is a really cool thing to come check out here in Springfield.
Cool. I will have to put that on my list. Well, you gave us, like you said, a whole week or so worth of things to do in Springfield. So I think we're really excited to win that family fun kit on the website Bonzy. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today, telling us a little bit more about Springfield. If people want to follow you, where can they catch you?
Just search me up, Bonzy, the name right there, Bondsy. I'm all over the place, and my kids would say I'm all over too much. So you can find me anywhere and everywhere on social media. And thank you, Tonee. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's just a roam away, Bonzy with Springfield, Illinois.
It's time to start making memories again, and it's all just a roam away. JustAroamAway.com.